Right.
I got this thing. My brother Eric, also set up this they call DJ King. So what we're going to use on the Rap Station app is an area, what people are kind of doing on Instagram and all that, but to build an app and to build a nice area,
right.
We call it DJ King. So people like Cut Creator, Grandmaster D, Terminator X,
right.
all the Tap Money, Hurricane, all the DJs, mainly the black DJs from the hip hop groups of the 80s and 90s, giving them, a home to do their particular thing. So that's a goal that I'm helping my brother E with. And we got the logos and their work should never be forgotten, man. It wasn't all about just the MCs taking the shine and the glory. Exactly. I mean, that's what MCs doing because they running their mouth all the time. So they always gonna do the Little Richard thing. People talk about Little Richard, like, because Little Richard would never ever be forgotten because he always spoke for himself. Right. And Little Richard would say things like, "Don't you forget it. I'm the emancipator. I'm the architect. I'm the originator of rock and roll." Right. And they be trying to get him to shut up, and they couldn't shut him up.
No, but that's what we need. We need that in hip hop. Somebody got to start championing our legends. Like when I was interviewing Kaz, like for me, that was big. Like for me, interviewing Kaz, that was big. But I know that my particular demographic of my generation, they gonna look at me like, yo, Kaz, okay, that's dope. Who's Grandmaster Kaz? They're gonna be confused, totally confused.
But you know what I say, E?
Mm-hmm.
There was an excuse for when I was 20-something years old, 18 years old, to not know something.
Right.
Bro,
it's not
for real, everybody got a computer, not only on their hip, but attached to their head. Mm-hmm. There's no reason to say you don't know nothing. You could look everything up. Now, like they say back in the day, you could lead a horse to water.
Right.
Can't make them drink it. Exactly. But the excuse is I don't know nothing. It's like, bro, that's why I say the battle is your gadget a toy, right, or is it a tool? And that's the battle for the rest of the gadget in your life. It's like, if it's a toy, then you spending time on it,
right?
And that's cool. If it's a tool, then you're engaged with it to kind of forward your adult plan out, whether it's business or saving you money. Hey, listen, the money you save will definitely be the money you make. Your washing machine breaks down. Mm-hmm. My daughter's quick at that. She's like, "Dad, I just went to YouTube and figured out how to fix it." That's using your phone as a tool.
Right.
So that we at that crossroads.
Right, exactly. So I know you got to go. I know Dom told me that you got something to do after this. So I'm going to go to the last.
She always got me doing something. My daughter runs my company, and
I think that's so dope, by the way. I love seeing parents and their kids work together. So me and my dad do it. So I think naturally I just like seeing it. But I think
you bump heads with your dad
all the time. All the time.
Oh, you making me feel not so bad now.
All the time. I mean, I know you guys have a particular way of doing things, and you've been doing it.
I know I do.
Right, y'all been doing it for that way, and it's been working. So y'all know whatever. And then
where's the but? I know you're gonna say but.
Right, but I think that speaking of me and Dom case, I think that we got y'all. We gonna make sure y'all good no matter what. You just gotta trust us.
Yeah, my daughter is very quick. It's like, yo, you just can't trust shady people out there because cats is coming with shade from all different angles.
All the time. And then I think you guys are a little older, so y'all don't catch. Sometimes people be like sarcastic and say stuff. I catch everything like real fast. I'm gonna say something too. What? And then my dad always told me, he'd be like, "Yo, you go too hard sometimes. You gotta relax." But now, what happened? What's going on? Because I gotta catch you. Because if you don't check people, they just keep going. You just gotta, you do it silently. I do it silently sometimes, because I do it with him, and I even do it with D sometimes. Certain people, they say stuff, whatever. I'll be right around there checking. What you said about it? What? Because you gotta be, you know what I mean? If you don't fight hard, look, one thing that I could say that Kanye has taught me, one really great thing Kanye has taught me, is that if you don't go hard for yourself, nobody else is gonna go hard for you.
That's true.
That's one thing I for sure Kanye has taught me, is you gotta go as hard for yourself as you would for anything else. So I've toned it down though. Me and my dad, we talk. So now I toned it down a little. I wait. I give people chances now. You know, I wait. I let him say and do whatever, and then I talk to him on the side, and I'll be getting on the side. But yeah, we
My brother's Michael Corleone, bro. He Michael Corleone. That's the old Godfather reference. I be coming with that old Vito Corleone shit, and she'd be like, nah.
Exactly. No, you gotta be. That's good though. That's good. Even because she called me and she was talking to me, you know, questions. So what's this about? What's that about? Whatever. And I was like, oh no, for sure, I get it. I said, don't even. I get it. I know. You want to know what's going on? I would be doing the exact same thing. So I get it.
Yeah, man. Get it. Good. I hope many more things. Anytime you can like get anything from me, man. It's like I'm telling you, this is your time. You are a super network, bro. And I would like to one day be able to license your broadcast into the rap station format when we finally get that end of that app together and the link be going straight to your thing. So, I mean, I would love to get that chance, man.
We could definitely talk about that because I mean that's really my goal. I mean, I watched hip hop my whole life and been a part of it. I feel like my whole life, and now being able.
And you had to see like people were crazy in it. They had to be out of their damn
nuts. That's why I could never. I was talking to Dougie, and he was like, "Yo, have you ever like rapped or been a producer? Like, I see something in you." And in my head, I'm like, I wanted to, but then when you see how people act, when you see how people try to play the artist, you don't want to be the artist. You want to be the guy that's helping the artist not get played. So I think just watching how people act and people just get weird and funny with things. Even myself, like if they don't know what my name is attached to, they act funny. Then when they find out, they act completely different. So I watch
they do the screech on the brake shit. I didn't know.
Right. They
you my man's son.
right. It get different and then they fix it. So I've been watching all of that for forever. So it was now I'm like, I don't know if I would be partaking in the industry that way. I like partaking it in this way and just talking, having a conversation, being able to educate my own peers on what I've.
It's so needed, man. It's so needed. We lost so many people. I put it to you this way: we lost so many people shaking to the lights.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, you shake it to the lights, man. It's like you shake it to the lights and all the change is on the floor, man. So the situations that come with the vacuum cleaners is the ones we got to answer to, man.
Mm-hmm.
Shake it to the lights. The person hold up a $100 bill, shake it to the lights. You jumping after it, but there's $300 in change on the floor. What are you jumping for the $100 shaking to the lights for?
Right.
No. Be a vacuum cleaner, man.
Mm-hmm.
Quiet vacuum cleaner, you know? I want to say Hoover, but Hoover's a bad word to use. So maybe they should make a Trump. Maybe they should make a Trump vacuum cleaner too.
They might suck up all the nonsense that he says all day because he just goes.
No, and the dude has the nerve to be from Queens, the same world I'm born in, man.
It's crazy. And he's from Queens. He's a Gemini like me. It's crazy. He's just like infiltrating everything that I stand for. He just took over everything I stand for without it. I couldn't even ask and be like, yo, you sure? Like, nah, he just everything. I'm like, damn. Just make us look terrible. And it's crazy though. What's crazy is though he's a Gemini and then so is Kanye. So I be fighting real hard with I'm like, you know, Geminis are good people. Like I know that we don't got the best representation out there, but we
got a birthday coming up, right?
On Saturday, this Saturday. Thank you.
Yes, I'm glad I was able to get this interview in before your birthday.
No, thank you. I'm actually, the funny joke is you're my Juneteenth episode. Actually, I wanted to keep you for Juneteenth because I felt like it's no better than Chuck D on Juneteenth.
Juneteenth and also Black Music Month.
See, I did not know that.
June is Black Music Month, and also a lot of times people want to ask me political questions. Not to say that I can't answer, but I tell them, number one, I'm not an economist.
Right.
And I am a historian knowing our history and all that, but I always try to put our history in the context of where it's usable.
Right, exactly.
And I'm a cultural historian knowing that if somebody's going to listen to me, they're going to be like, okay, cool, old head, but where can I plug up what I'm doing into what you're saying?
Right, exactly.
We could talk about, like, I mean, for the lack of a better word, we could talk about Gabriel Prosser or Harriet Tubman all damn day long, but we speculating.
Right.
Talking about this, I could go Ida B. Wells all day long on you, but at the same time, we don't make no parable to how you could take her energy or what she had into what you're gonna do in 21 2020.
Right.
Yo, man, what are we talking about?
Right.
Because history ain't a thing where you just say, I got my history, now I'm gonna just tuck it to use it just for myself as trivia. This
Right.
man. Life ain't Jeopardy, man. It's like, where can you use it? That's why history shouldn't be a mystery. Quick point, I'm always explaining, because you know New Yorkers feel that they know everything. And so they don't even know about New York.
Right.
Like,
right.
Simple fact matter, right? East River and the Hudson River.
Mm-hmm.
Hudson River is a river because it comes from upstate New York. East River is never a river. It's a Bering Strait. So then when you talk that, right, it's like, well, it's a Bering Strait. It's like, damn, so then I can't even talk geography to you. What's this got in context to, Chuck? It got context to because the subway system is now going to be some exclusive thing. And now Ticketmaster is trying to buy this exclusive, like what do you call it? Uber type system in the subway. Well, you got to, but I'm saying the subways was never meant for civilians anyway. It was only meant because the corporations set up the jobs. Wow. And the jobs is set up there. So they say, yeah, you're going to live out in the Bronx, you live in Brooklyn, Queens. We'll make it convenient for your ass to get right to the job on time. You can't give me an excuse like, yo, I showed up late because, you know, I live in the Bronx, man, and this is on 23rd Street. Nope. The systems is going to get you there. We ain't paying you much. It's only cost you $0.25 to get down here, bro. Get your ass to work on time, press them damn shirts. You know what I'm saying? That's why the system was there. Now, New Yorkers was privileged with that, thinking that this is automatic. It's like, yo, we could just put $1, 25 cents. Back in the day, it was a quarter and a dime or a token, right? Mm-hmm. That was a privilege to move throughout the islands. It means I say islands because New York is islands and they only got one peninsula, which is the Bronx on mainland. Right. Everything else is an island. Staten.
The whole thing is an island.
Whole thing is
an
Staten, island. Long Island, Manhattan Island. Mm-hmm. The fact that you can't get nowhere to these islands without a bridge or a tunnel, right? Or if you got a helicopter, maybe, right? So the thing is, it's like you always was privileged. The minute there's an easy thing they gotta do, they say, we're gonna shut up the bridge and the tunnels. It means you're gonna be what? Like we are today. Right. Home.
Mm-hmm. Sitting home. Right, I'm not going nowhere.
You ain't going nowhere. Home. So the minute, there's a reason I tell people this, it's like, I gotta give you a backstory that, the East River ain't really a river, it's really the ocean, and tunnels run under it, and you really don't, you got a lot of rockiness on top of it, so ferries ain't gonna come back. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, meaning what? What's this meaning context, Chuck? Meaning that your ass gonna be where you gonna be, and to go in the city now is gonna cost you. Mm-hmm. Now you gotta probably go through Ticketmaster, and you're gonna be beefing like, yo, we had it good. Yeah, you had it good. Mm-hmm. Because you was privileged. Now that privilege is gone. So that's 2021 talk, E. So when the cat be like, oh, yo, Chuck, man, yeah, you talking all that history, man. I mean, you filling my head up with so much, man, so much to take in. Yeah, but your problem this minute happens to be connected with what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Move tomorrow.
Exactly.
That's what old heads do.
Right. So now that brings me to my last point, the OGs and the young Gs. What do you think is, let me read this right. What do you think, no, you're good. What do you think, or how do you think is a better way to say it? How do you think we can bridge, I asked D this question too, how do you think that we can bridge the gap between the OGs and the young Gs? Because I feel like there's not a generational gap. Well, there is a generational gap, but the age isn't the problem. The lack of communication amongst each group is the problem. Or hearing one group hearing others say, those are the old heads, we don't care, and then the old heads hearing that and saying, well, that's not hip hop. You know what I'm saying? That whole conversation in debate. Yeah, culturally. Okay. Yeah.
When we talk about the bigger picture, that's
no, culturally, just hip hop wise. We got my last one is that part of it, but I want to start with the hip hop part. We could
about to open up a door. But listen, the biggest thing is I tell artists, I said there's always a rule, just like in playing ball.
Right.
You got to turn your audience out. If you ain't turning your audience out, then you damn sure ain't gonna communicate that to no other audience.
Right.
So I tell all artists to say, yeah, you communicating to your audience, so you gotta rock them, man. Because if they just like, and they looking at like, okay, if the standard is you buying a Bentley, it ain't what you that's another thing. That's money. That money's got its own thing.
Right.
I used to tell people all that if we talk about money, then we need to all go down to Wall Street and see how they flipping money.
Exactly. I'm telling you, you ever heard of the show Billions?
Yeah, I heard of the show. I didn't see it yet.
You should watch it. Great show. It made.
Matter of fact, I know the dude that did it. The dude that did it is Eric Copperman's son.
Wow, he's a genius.
Charles Copperman. He's like his name is Eric Copperman.
Yes.
And, he grew up in money.
Okay.
So he designed the show.
No, that's amazing though, because that show is. I think that show I watched it pretty much like right before quarantine happened, and I think that's what kind of got my juices really going and flow. Like that, him breaking down the life and what a billionaire really lives, and it makes sense that he lived it, so he understands it. But it's crazy. It's a very good show. You wouldn't be disappointed.
When we talk culture, the minute we start talking about money, and money is the thing, and it's the God everybody looks at.
Right.
You're in another zone then. You in another zone and go in that zone. Go in that zone of money. Right. Now, you want culture, we're creators. And one thing about creators could go to a blank wall and come out of that wall and the average person go to that wall and be bored. And
right.
The creator go to that wall and be coming out with all kinds of ideas. So once again, that works like time. So in this world, you have creators and producers, and then the rest of them are consumers. And a lot of people have creativity in them, but the problem is like, how's it get out of them? Right. And also, there's so many different areas. That's why you can't measure intelligence. How you measure intelligence when people are gifted in so many different areas? So they all need navigation. So even the differences in the generations is that you got to turn your own area out. And if the area is judged by something else other than culture, then maybe that has to get figured out to neutralize it into this is just a cultural thing. This is taking it to the stage. Well, people don't go to the stage no more, man. Matter of fact, they want to battle to their phones. Then okay, then that's the format. It's just that okay, you got to come up out of that with people saying, "Yo, this dude is the dude," or this girl is the girl, and all that. Right. Once you start making generational comparisons, that gets in the area of stupid. But it's a beginning of a communication, but it's also got to get cleared out to a point where you're making sense out of it. Right. Because you can't compare 2020 to 1980 at all. You can make historical comparisons, but you got to make some exact historical comparisons of knowing about who's doing what now concisely and who did what back then concisely. Then you make a comparison. Then why? Because you want to make a map for where to go with it. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Right. So the communication of like, yo, man, I dig Future, and yo, man, but Future compared to, to Scorpio for the Furious 5. Right. Art is art. Yeah. Art is art, bro. Art is short for artificial. It's a facsimile of life. It's not life itself, but it can be created to a person that kind of seriously, if they have their realities in order, look at art as being something to look at, not create their existence. But it's artificial. It's a facsimile. It's a reflection of life. And that's why artists kind of like, they paint the picture, and music, art and expression and stuff like that comes out in the context of that time. It's hard to remove the context of the time from the art. Right. So, for example, we could mimic something from 1986. Well, what context was it in 1986? Right. LL J, when LL came out in 1984, he made cats quit. Today, you say LL, they're like, oh, yeah, he's at the show there. And then they were like, and then you hear cats start talking about, yeah, but I think my man could have got him. And your man that you follow, like, you follow some verse for some dude in 2004. Right. I'm like, I said, you can't compare the times.
Right, exactly.
It's like for example, even in ball, man, yesterday I put up you know, I posted on Twitter my basketball hero from my hometown, Dr. J.
Yep.
Jordan came out, LeBron. They're all greats. They're all GOATs, right? There's plenty of GOATs out there. Same
Right.
thing in music and
Hip-hop.
rap and all that. You just got to say they're all GOATs. And when you started comparing, it's like, damn, when Dr. J did it, it was unseen. People are like, I never saw that shit before.
Right, exactly.
It's like, yo, I never, the first time I heard a rap record, bro,
Mm-hmm.
it half blew my mind. That was King Tim III,
Wow.
right? Spring.
Yeah.
Spring Records, 1979. Your dad know. It's called King Tim III.
Tim the Third.
And it was on Spring. It was on a 45, right?
Mm-hmm.
He got there with the Fatback Band from Brooklyn. It was like, damn, okay. I was amazed because to me, rap was a 3-hour thing. It's like a party. So when Eddie Cheever was saying back then, he says, I'm going to come out with this rap record. I'm up there dancing as he's the DJ. He was like one of the big DJs at that time, right? And I'm like, fuck out of here. How you going to do a rap record, man? How you going to, so I'm thinking like,
Right.
how you gonna put 3 hours
Mm-hmm.
on it? I don't get that.
Yeah.
And when I heard King Tim III, I was like, and then when I heard Rapper's Delight, which was straight, it had no singing choruses to it.
Right.
King Tim III did it with the Fatback Band, a popular band at the time. So they were from Brooklyn, they getting down, so it's kind of a little like disco-y beat, do it to me. And I'll do it to you, like with like a sing-songy chorus and all that. So it's really done like how rap records were done like in the 90s, really.
Okay.
But it was done in 79. Rapper's Delight came out with they came on the hottest beat of the whole 2 years. That was Good Times by Chic, which was a disco, they call them a disco group. They was just a badass R&B group, right? But Chic came out with Good Times. Cats, and your dad will tell you, 1979 was B-boy hip-hop year, but it was before records.
Right.
Cats scratching good times and rocking it. Yes, y'all. You don't stop and keep on to the break of that type of right? Good times, right? But no rap record. King Tim III came out, and when Rapper's Delight came out, that Cash wrote, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Nobody did. Yo, man, it was just straight rap on Good Times. October. It blew everybody's mind because number one, they didn't think it was possible. It was nothing before that. I mean, they toyed at it, but and you know what? How long Rapper's Delight was?
I think it's like 7 or 8 minutes, maybe.
Nah, 15 minutes, dog. 15 minutes. And here's the irony, E. It wasn't how long it was how short they truncated it. Yo, bro, it was like, they got it down to 15 minutes.
That's nuts. Oh.
So right here, people think, that's why I say in context of time.
Right.
People look at 15 minutes like, God damn, that's a long-ass record. But in 1979, it was like, yo.
I do that in 15 minutes.
How you get that? How you do that in 15 minutes? See what I mean by time?
Right.
Time is a construct. So when when that was done, it blew everybody's mind. Like, they did it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I mean. When you're a pioneer, mind-blowing things happen. Like, I didn't think that was possible. That's why when LL Cool J came out, we didn't think it was possible that just one dude alone. Yeah, you know what? Curtis Blow is hip-hop's first star.
Right.
He had a little R&B going on with it. But
exactly.
LL Cool J, man, made Prince and Michael Jackson turn around and say, whoa. LL Cool J, man, made Run DMC and Jay said, this dude's a problem, man. One guy. That's what I'm saying. LL Cool J not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is a crime, man. It's the first time that one dude made everybody say, damn, this dude is just one dude. Before that, I said everybody's groups. Even during and after, everybody's groups. Because they was like, yo, man, one man can't do it all, yo, man. LL Cool J, one dude, man. So I'm saying you can't compare the time. So when a guy does, yo, man, that's LL Cool J. Yeah, he hosted Grammys. That's that CSI, CBS thing. Yeah, all that, man. He used to rap. He do all them love songs in the 90s and all. Bro, I'm trying to tell you, when this dude came out, man, seriously, man, cats quit. Cats quit. Andre Harrell, God bless the day, he just passed away. He was Dr. Jekyll. He said when he saw LL Cool J, he wrapped it up, man. He said, yo, man, I'm done. That's when you know. That's when you know. It's like Jordan. When Jordan came in, Cats was like, "Yo, I'm gonna retire because this dude is coming in here." Same thing with LeBron. LeBron came in, Cats was like, "You know what? I'm out the door." You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The same thing. And when Jay-Z came out, Cats is like, "Yo, I didn't think that was possible." And you know, Jay-Z was the first dude to kind of talk his rhyme style. Was like 3-card Monty, man. It's like you couldn't really chase it down. It's like he's made up so many different parts and shit like that. And,
he got double entendres and triple entendres. He's like, he just gets the whole time. And one bar is like 6 bars almost.
Yeah, and Eminem is a damn computer.
Yep.
So when these dudes came along, that's a certain era. I think in hip hop and rap, when cats take the easy way out,
right,
or what seemingly looks like the easy way out,
right,
that's when older heads might come in and say, I don't know, dog. It's like, you can't use no words. You know what I'm saying? And you can't totally, if the auto-tune goes down, what you gonna do? This is what I'm saying.
They not gonna do nothing. I'm telling you. I've been in sessions, even being in Quad and Platinum, and you know, we done ran into the famous Dexes and a couple other people, me and Decent, and they be just seeing them themselves is crazy. And it's like, yo, you're such a cool person, and then it's like, you're so dope as this person. Why do you need this auto tune? Why? Why are you even using it? What's the point? Like, you can do this yourself. Like, what's the whole point at this point?
The point is, sometimes what older heads say is it's all right to have the copycat.
Right.
But when you have the copycats after the copycats, it gets kind of crazy. Like Tekashi 6ix9ine or whatever his style might be, whatever his style is. Other day I turned on, I happened to be in New York area, man, I turned on, I think Rosenberg was doing a midnight show, man. And the problem is, it's like the copycat of the copycat gets a little crazy.
Because then you're playing 10 songs that are the same, that should be one artist. You start playing 10 songs. The radio plays 10 songs that could all be one artist's catalog, but it's 10
You know what that's called? But listen, being an old head, right? And I want your dad to hear this one. Being an old head like myself, I already know what that is. You know what that is?
What is that?
Disco.
That's what, you know what's funny? I was sitting in my head because D always say that. D be like, yo, not for nothing, rap right now is just disco before hip hop came out.
Yeah, that's what hip hop totally tried to destroy.
Right.
And it used disco records in the flyest way. Because not all them records that hip hop used was like, they wasn't the rock records like you know, Toys in the Attic or Aerosmith that Run DMC, they Walk This Way from the Walk This Way record. No, a lot of them records, man, were by disco singers and disco records that the DJs flied up. Like, I Can't Stop. John Davis and the Monster Orchestra, right? Mm-hmm. A big Queens record. Matter of fact, Queens really helped make I Can't Stop happen. People like DJ Divine, you know, from Infinity Machine. Like, and Disco Twins. Also, those are two. Mm-hmm. I mean, I Can't Stop is a beat that actually, it's a disco beat, and it's like this real orchestric, you know, come out in your fly suit in the disco 4054 and wear, you know, snort the cocaine with the satin bra strap or whatever. But they had one break in that record, right? I can't stop, and then it wound up. I can't stop. And they had two versions of it. Mm-hmm. Well, you know, one was a big wind up. And then it trailed off into like funky bass line, but then it went disco again, right? But that little area, cats used to take that and run it back, and the quick DJs would keep that wham, dum, 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 dum. And if you had an MC that would ride over that and not get thrown off, they call it getting thrown off the pony. Yeah. If a DJ kept it going and it kept speeding up and you got thrown off because you didn't know that wham gonna come in, those MCs, man, were incredible, because even if the DJ was kind of like whack and couldn't keep it together, their MCing, like people like Busy B Starsky, right, would keep it together with his own rhythm, and the DJ would keep up to the rhythm. It was a beautiful time, man. So when I hear somebody being like, not so much the auto-tune user, but the fifth derivative of auto-tune,
right?
Just get it easy and get it across. That's what happens in music. You're always going to have copycats, and then the copycats off the copycats. The problem is when the DJ on the radio station playing it all like it's disco, man. It turns back into disco because nobody knows who is this.
You don't,
and then people don't care to know. And then it's like, okay, now you killing somebody who's really trying to make some pioneering shit in the middle of this, and you're not giving it no breathing room.
Right. And I'm telling you, that's exactly what my motivation for doing the open mic lives was. It's like giving artists, real artists, because I know a lot of them and have come across a lot of them, giving them that platform, even though it's small right now. As it keeps going, it's gonna grow. But they get that little, on Monday nights when I do it, they get that little second or that 10 minutes that we give them to really showcase, and people come out and people support. And I think it's showing for the artist who's really supporting them, what fans and stuff they should be engaging with. I feel like it's teaching everybody a lot right now, because in a time right now, if every one of your so-called supporters can't come out and watch you on live and they home, you know who you should be making music for, catering to, and making stuff for, and build your fan base based off of that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a golden rule. You can't rock 10 people. You definitely ain't gonna rock 100. Ain't gonna rock 10,000. Ain't gonna rock 1 million. You gotta rock those 10 people looking at you who really seriously ain't trying to give it to you. Matter of fact, if they're gonna try to give it to you, they're trying to give it to you.
Right.
So you gotta convince them. They're already going this way. Right? You're going this way. You gotta get them to go that way. That take a lot of energy and inertia. I don't care what century you in. Stage is still the stage. The stage don't change, man. Stage is gonna be you looking at somebody presenting their thing. Now, it might be in a circle of stage, they surrounding you, but you know what? You got 5 minutes to get across to these 10 people, and either you have it or you don't. And if you don't have it, this is why they have practice, and you work on it until you find it. And if you can't find it, then you don't have it.
Exactly. What's Dougie's law is be, do, have. You do what you love so that you can be what you need, and that way you'll have. I think I just messed it up a little bit, but something.
I got you though. Anything that Dougie says, man, trust me. Dougie is our MT. He's our master teacher.
Absolutely. His was crazy. He spoken for like 2 hours with me. It was nuts. I enjoyed it.
I'm on with you for 2 hours too.
I know. Yeah, no, you listen. Y'all getting Dougie, he was my first one, so I wasn't as advanced in my vision with this, so I just put up his whole episode, but now I'm going to go back and chop it up into parts just like these. I'm going to do parts, Kaz, you. I'm glad to be sitting here talking with y'all for 2 parts, because I feel like there's so much that people need to get, and, just a little psychology. People look at a YouTube video that's an hour long and feel like they can't finish it, but if they see 30 minutes, they'll think like, that's like the time that I would drive to work or drive this place, they'll finish it. So I've been cutting them up into keeping it 30 minutes and
yeah, we're in the time where, and this is also a bad aspect of the time and a good aspect of the time. It's just that these times for attention spans will eventually even get shorter.
Right.
You have people who have gone and they've been raised on. Don't get me wrong. You on a ringtone attention span. It's like it rings and it better be good, because if it ain't good, it's gone.
Right.
And that's kind of good too, because if it ain't, you gotta go back to what you're doing. But if what you're doing ain't much, then so this is a good time to pay attention.
Exactly.
As opposed to play attention. Paying attention, playing attention, 2 different things. When you don't pay attention, there's a price to pay.
I like that. I like that. Absolutely. I agree. So now this is my last thing. I'm gonna get to the last thing so you can go.
You forgot the Noah's Ark question. No,
Oh.
I'm
So
sorry.
this is something, and you brought up his name. I don't want to dive too much into him, the person, but more so just like I think people's reaction to 6ix9ine and what he's been doing and how people are like, I feel like people are diving too far into him and what he's done and the whole snitching thing and everything. And I feel like there's just so much more important things to focus on. Like Flint still don't got clean water. There's all these things. So I kind of just want to like, I don't know in what way. Look, my hope is that this Contained Convos get big and people watch this and then artists will just hear this conversation and realize how dumb it is. But I think it's just really crazy to see people with a platform using it and wasting it on 6ix9ine when they could be doing so much other things. Like it's just.
Well, these things will always happen. I think those that get it will understand. The problem is that those that get it will probably look at the other area that I said that you shouldn't include in this, and that is the accident of money.
Right.
And the accident of money could throw a lot of people off. I think when they see that somebody might not show any effort, and offers can get like $1 million off of, and
Right.
they've been busting their tail for 20 years and probably made $1,000 in their lifetime. That could kind of like really kind of you got to kind of stick your heart to the art, man.
Right.
Stick your heart to the art, man. You throw your feelings into it, and then you get two things that you need to stay away from, man, in the digital age.
Mm-hmm.
Stay away from numbers, man.
Yeah.
I mean, stay away from being sensitive to numbers. Count your numbers wisely, man. You got 100 people following it. You remember that old record? Nah, I'm gonna say older record. Older record by Eminem, Stan.
Yeah. 100%.
Now the deal is, how do you stalk Stan?
That's true.
How do you stalk your #1 fans, man? You gotta like, okay, it ain't about like, damn, I got 63. How many you expected? I expected 500. So I said, so you're going to diss the 63?
Right.
How do you get to make the 63 feel like they really seriously the best fanatics out there?
Exactly.
You got to stalk your fans and treat them better, the ones that do come.
Mm-hmm.
You can't talk like what you should have had, what you could have had, what you don't have, because you don't have them.
Right, exactly.
What you do have. And I think the biggest thing that discourages people in these realms is metrics and analytics. And don't have metrics and analytics discourage you from doing your particular game and your job, appeasing who follow you already. Build from that.
Right.
But once you get in the game of numbers, man, and numbers becomes part of your sensitivity, man, right, you're going to get your ass broken all the time, man, because you're always going to think of what you could have had instead of what you do have. And this is the biggest thing that they try to throw black people in the tech. They're like, all right, what's your numbers looking like? Well, you ain't going to get numbers like, for example, the numbers of somebody, and all of a sudden they threaten to do some suicidal shit, or they went in the club with a gun and said, watch all these move, and pop, 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 and all of a sudden you captured it on Instagram, and everybody is clickbaiting on sensationalism.
Exactly.
Yeah, you got numbers, but what are those numbers worth?
Right. What does it mean?
What do the numbers mean? It's more numbers. You got 1 million people looking at an accident versus 20 people looking at some substance. Now, somebody might say, damn, we got to figure out some kind of way to lace the accident into.
Right. And that's what they try to do. How can we market? How can we market the negativity or this negative thing that happened? How can we turn it good? Because I think the crazy thing is, I mean, all press is good press, as they say. And I think that construct right there is the problem right now. People are really taking all presses, and any press that they can get is good press, like whatever, as long as they're looking. But it's you want people to
that's an old ass adage that really seriously ends up kicking our ass in the area of ownership and creativity, man. Oh yeah, there's no such thing as bad news. Any news is good. What? Nah, man. It's like saying all money is good money.
Right, exactly.
Nah. What is this money connected to? What's my obligation when I take this money? You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know what? If I know that I'm making $10 straight up on a system I made, I can't look at that $100 you dangling in front of me. What kind of hand is holding that up?
Right.
So metrics and analytics haven't really been figured out in a digital game, except by hucksters and, and digital
The
gangsters.
people who it actually pays. Only people, the people who pay attention, who should be paying attention to numbers, are the ones that is paying. Because I mean, even all the artists with all the numbers, they ain't that whole dollar doesn't go in your pocket. So you shouldn't even. You should be worried about the top of the dollars going in your pocket, not the ones you missing.
Numbers is what everybody is kind of fixated on right now, and that sometimes knocks a lot of people from going the extra effort to get the best substance that they could give.
Right.
What they're offering, man. And you know, now you got to look at yourself, right? Here's an idea. You got to look at yourself as having something so special, right? That it ain't easily for sale.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't see listen, man, you don't see a Bentley, you know, dealership in the hood.
Right.
They would want one.
Exactly.
They don't say to them, look, yeah, we know that we ain't gonna stop y'all, we ain't gonna discriminate, but we ain't setting it up in your hood, nah.
Right. You gonna have to, if you want it, go to that neighborhood over there. You go like that.
Exclusivity is sometimes good, bro. That club that say, you know what, man, we're not letting you in because you're just not like the right type to get in here. Oh man, we're gonna go Al Sharpton on NBC on this one. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You might look at say that might be your only saving grace against the metrics that you don't have.
Right. Because I feel like even now, I mean, this ain't getting no numbers, but I'm just more excited to capture the content than anything. So it's like, you know, a couple people, they hit my dad up about, you know, doing this and make it into a podcast and so forth, which I'm open to, but I like it. I like what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like I like what I'm doing. I like how I'm doing it. It'll catch on regardless is how I feel, honestly. Whether I make it a podcast and we do the extra to get this ad revenue or whatever, like this is just something that's cool and dope, and what's dope will catch on anyway.
You build your content and you could cut it, shape it any way you want.
Mm-hmm.
You know, listen, man, right now, man, past is present is future right now.
Right.
Everything is even right now. Everything. Everything's flat now. You want to talk about flatten the curve? Everything is flat right now.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, and especially in ball. Then you talk about, oh man, I'm ready, you know, I was the MVP. No, ain't no season now. So we back and looking at 1996 footage the same way we're looking at. It's the same thing.
Exactly.
Like, you know, Jam Master Jay is on YouTube just like, you know, like that Travis Scott is on YouTube. You know, it's like it's the same thing. The only thing that's different is maybe their demographics who follow them.
Right.
And that's the only thing that's you build and engage yourself with the people that do follow you, as opposed to always taking your fishing pole and your hook and your bait to get somebody who ain't there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good way to think about it. You always need positive energy to create.
Exactly. I don't think nothing's been created out of negative energy besides some really good love songs, maybe, or the songs that we cried to. I definitely counted those.
And that's true. And even money could be negative energy sometimes if it's coming from a source that you're not feeling.
Yeah, exactly. That you're unsure about or you don't know. Exactly. It's just different. But this is dope, and I'm happy I was able to do this with you, Chuck. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate you for all your time.
Oh man, it's a pleasure, man. Anytime, man. I had a great time, and we didn't even talk about like the black shit. No,
I mean, look, we could go there if you want. I got a question. I was gonna go to police brutality route and talk about Mod real quick. If you want, if you're down to do that.
Yeah, Dominique just hit me up. She said, I'd like to post a birthday post for Buster and just want to get some direct words from me. Oh, I didn't know his birthday. I guess, was that Jim? No, he's a Taurus, right? Yeah. I guess, yeah, he's a Taurus. Oh, no, yeah.
I think not. I'm shaky on when Gemini season starts, but I think he's a Taurus. I think Buster's a Taurus.
Yeah, I'm surrounded by Tauruses, you know. I gave Buster his name. And everybody just like, word? I'm like, I bet say, because he's always like, yeah, Chuck D gave me my name. He's the general. I'm like, that's a long old story, and you done took that name and ran into the end zone Super Bowl so many different times. So you could just not mention that. But you know, it's his birthday, man. So I salute the Buster.
Yes, sir. Salute to Buster. But yeah, so let's dive into Ahmad real quick and what's going on in the Black community. One thing that I wanted to touch on was your song. Well, your song 911 is a joke. I know that's mainly flavor on it, but
Right.
there's just the thought process when you
It was
guys.
a good thing for Flavor to do.
Yeah,
And
I was
it's like
about to say.
people always say, "Well, damn, you and Flavor Flav." Yeah, that's my dude. I'm always on his ass. He's like Dennis Rodman, man. He's Dennis Rodman before Dennis Rodman.
Right.
Always on his ass to do the work, man. Do the work. And so, way I did with Flavor, I was like, "Yo, man, listen, I'm gonna give you 1 year to write this song, and this is what it should be about."
Okay.
And he came through like a champ, man. And we put the music to it, and that's how you got to work with him. Sometimes you want to ask for 3 years to write one song. I'm like, nah, that's unacceptable, dude. he wanted
Right.
star in Star Time. I said, you gotta do the work, man. So
Right.
911 as a joke was self-explanatory.
Mm-hmm.
Black folks press 911 and they're gonna be slow to answer.
Right.
This thing with Mark was a camera captured it.
Luckily.
The courts were one way with it, communities another way with it, and said, listen, man, is a person's life that cheap that you can gun them down based on, even if he was going around looking at a house, this whole thing of like, I'm going to take your life is just like
Crazy.
life things.
How does that equate to and that goes back to treating people how you would want to be treated, because if this was vice versa, we already know that the black man who did it would have been in jail. He would be under the cell already.
I think what's been charged up over the last 10 years, especially we knew that in the United States of America, parts of the Western world, maybe not so much parts of the Western world as much, because civilians in their country is going to think what they're going to think anyway. But in this country, United States of America, there was straight out hatred and animosity for President Obama, man.
Yes.
And especially if a person is going to align like, oh, damn, I had a job, I lost a job, so I'm going to blame that dude, that nigga in the office type of thing, or whatever the reasons are, right? Then on top of you seeing black culture get into all these areas, because if you look on television now, it ain't like the 90s and the 80s. Black culture is everywhere.
All over.
Except for in the control in the control booth. Like I used to always talk about, like, oh yeah, blacks on every commercial. They even show mixed couples on commercial. But yo, man, the film companies that do it, the ad agencies that get it clear, all the mechanics behind it, ownership, probably no blacks.
Right.
It's like, yo, man, it's like one thing is you show on the outside the United Colors of Benetton like they used to show. But on the inside, it's the same old mechanics.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, okay, you got this black guy you hired as a grip, and this guy's. I'm like this, but to me, what you show on the screen, and they showing like every time I see the black commercials on, I'm like, damn, okay, we 15% of the makeup, so all right, you kind of like seeing 20% of people or 30% of people of color now. But it's still like zero behind the scenes.
Exactly. Even I seen on I heard this about Netflix. I actually tested it out with one of my friends, or one of my white friends' Netflix compared to my Netflix. The image that it'll show you about, like, there's this movie Molly's Game on Netflix, and it's fully about this about a white girl. Idris Elba is in it though. So now on my white friend's Netflix and on his TV is showing Molly's Game, the white girl that it's about on this flyer, but then if you go on mine, it's Molly's Game, but it's a picture of Idris Elba.
See, that's that. Well, we got it all figured out in the marketing bullshit.
Right, and then they think that nobody's gonna pay attention to that, and it really just so happened. I seen somebody say it on Twitter, and usually sometimes I go and try things I see on Twitter. Sometimes I'll be like, I don't feel like doing that, but that was just so simple to go on my Netflix and his that I was like, let me see real quick. And that's what they're doing. Well,
that's some kind of boardroom somewhere that they figured out how to, sway the metrics of marketing. And I'm just like saying, people like yourself, you know, when you see it, it's up to you how to call it.
Yep.
Because I think you could get a little racist in your marketing targeting. And but if nobody calls them out as that,
Right.
even when you call it out, they'll be like, "Oh, you nitpicking? Come on, now you reaching, dog."
Right.
But when people feel a situation, feel they could do anything and say anything. I mean, when they feel they could do anything and say anything, that leaks into so many areas of people and situations feel that they can keep pushing that envelope.
Right.
Insensitivity. And all during the time where they think they're trying to watch it carefully of being insensitive.
Right. They're being the most.
Right. Inadvertently, you just insensitive because you don't know these other areas that you're infringing on.
Right. And
not taught on race. You got all your race taught to you from culture. Culture can't be the only thing that teaches race, bro.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest problem with white America and whites in America is that most of them, and I say them in a general term, have never had a black person personally sit them down to teach them.
Exactly. That's a fact.
That's a problem.
A fact.
It's like, you know, I'm not gonna, I'll watch, I'll pick in whatever, but I ain't gonna learn anything from them directly.
Right.
And I'm not gonna learn anything from them educationally. I'm gonna learn from them culturally and get everything I gotta get through that.
And that's the only thing that they learn and pay attention to. They pay attention to our designers, our creators online. They call it Black Twitter. On Twitter, they call it Black Twitter. But Black Twitter is a real thing. So these companies go to Black Twitter. I done seen a couple things that Black Twitter came up with and ideas and stuff, and we all just retweeting it as Black folks because it's funny or it's this. But there's somebody in the marketing agency or somewhere sitting and looking like, yeah, Black Twitter's this thing. They got hashtag Black Twitter followed. And every time anything Black Twitter pops up, they getting it and they seeing it and they figuring out how they gonna use it and steal this piece from this and that piece from that and put it into their own thing and make their boss look like they just did something spectacular that they ain't even do.
Picking lemons from a tree, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's what corporations do in the Western world when they feel that you're outside the family. If we're a human family, man, then whatever is whatever, man.
Exactly.
You know, the black dude that's working in the shipping department, right? That means you got a chance to marry the boss's daughter too.
Right. No.
Don't care how liberal you are, and we still at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still there's always this little racial tension because seriously, we not human family yet.
Mm-hmm.
Things are being projected as human family on the outside, but inside, man, you got 0% black company or a black owner, a person of color, also in the mix of all these commercials out there. You know, like all those commercials you see out there, man, they seriously would lace a company for their whole year, man. Paying all their staff and all I did one commercial for certs.
Exactly. That's it.
So the videographer that is like doing videos and shit for like 18 different artists, man, just whatever, you know, trying to make a living, man. Mm-hmm. It's like, damn, will you let this person do this commercial for certs? Now, what's the rest? What's the metrics and all? We start
all
going
that stuff. I find even working with Adidas, and I feel like they do a really bad job at this though, but their connection to they actually are the epitome of exactly what we're talking about. Their connection to staying culturally relevant is crazy because they have these younger white kids that work there, and no knock to them, right? You guys went to school, you got this job, whatever, but you're working in a culture, and I always say this to my dad in reference to Adidas, like they need to be, when you do your Adidas training, you should get like a book, but not a book about the policies. You should get a book about the history of Adidas. Who did what? No, you don't, because then that's why we get all of these kids. And I be in Adidas fighting the hardest for Run DMC all the time. Every time it's a Run DMC conversation, why y'all don't do this for this, or y'all did this with this person, why we can't do it? You know, I go hard, like I was saying, my dad says, but because it's these things, and it's like, why am I watching a white kid that's my age
Right.
talking about stuff that he's not unqualified to talk about. I should be sitting in that seat. He's unqualified. He's talking to me about a brand that I grew up on and grew up around, and that's my family. How can he shouldn't be the guy on the project? We should have this other person. You know what I mean? And then you walk into these meetings, and there's not a lot of black guys. I think I went in one meeting at the top of this year to talk about an event, and there was like this one black guy in there, and instantly everything that I was saying, because they wanted to do this whole thing, whatever, and they got a younger kid on there, and it was a younger black kid, but and he was cool, but he just was trying to do exactly what the Adidas is used to do and pulling that new into old, which you get it, you're conditioned to these things, so you think that you got to do new and old, or you got to add this new, all of this new to put this old thing. You don't have to do that. You don't have to force it. It's fine. You can have this thing and respect the legacy, and it's all good.
Right.
And it was a one black guy in there, and I was like, yo, listen. I was like, yo, I hear you guys. And my dad wasn't there that time, so I got to really be me. So I'm like, you know, I'm seeing this and I'm hearing it, and I was like, you know, I read it and I looked at the deck like 6 times, and I'm a little confused. Like, what do any of these guys have to do with Run DMC? Like, you know what I mean? And then you sit and everybody's quiet, and then I start naming names of people who should be involved, like a Clark Kent or a DJ Scratch, or people who are still hip and cool, if that's what we're going for, to the youth, but it got to be some history connected to it. You got to be some educational component to it. What is somebody, just using a name out there, but what is somebody, a 13-year-old gonna learn about Run DMC from Little Yachty? Not saying that Yachty was a person, but you know what I mean? Like, what are they gonna learn from him about Run DMC if he's just because he's at a Run DMC event? That's, you know what I mean? It doesn't help, because he gets a pair of Run DMC sneakers. His fans will know about Run DMC, and then they'll maybe go buy some Run DMC Adidas. No, they're not. They're absolutely not. I'm here to tell everybody they're not. It's not how it works.
Right.
You got to educate the kid, but before you can educate anybody, you got to be educated. And that's the problem. That's the whole start.
Well, that's one of the big fallacies in the education system in the United States of America anyway, when it pertains down to history and culture, because you have to teach some culture in the school system.
Right.
And the school system, like, look, when I went to school, right, I was in 8th grade. That shit was 1973, bro. It's 1972. That shit is like, what, 50 years ago, bro?
Right. So
you got another 50 years figuring this. You don't teach culture. Right. So you're still learning about shit like Patrick Henry and shit like that. Not that you can't.
No, but
you're not even covering.
It's so disconnected.
They added another 50 years on to history, but you can't even go into there teaching. I mean, because you got to teach the backstory to a lot of things that are, you know. And I know, come on, man, it's 12 years.
Right.
12 years. You learn George Washington crossed the Potomac, man, in the battle of the, you know.
Right. You get the whole gist. But
it gets to the point where a lot of that shit you got to kind of like, all right, come on, man. We're not spending a lot of time talking about, you know, and we're going to demyth the cherry tree and that bullshit. And we're going to minimize some of these little fucking battles of Waterloo by Andrew Jackson and shit.
No, exactly. Because there's a couple, I mean, even when they teach in schools, and my mom always says this, she says this every chance she gets, she's like, yo, the problem with the schools is they took Black history out the schools. Like, they don't teach these kids about their histories from the jump. So then the Black kids have no understanding of their history. All they hear about is this white man that did this, that, or the third.
And then at the same time, when you remove music, because we were taught as a people to be silent about everything.
Right.
So inside that silence is what? Your music.
Voice, right.
All you gotta do is, look, if they left up to me on a year, I could teach Black music for a year, and I get 3 years out of that 1 year teaching Black music, because all the history is in the music, bro.
Exactly.
People in the records don't even they don't even know the first record. The first recording. It's simple. They teach that kind of. That's Thomas Edison, 1877, and that was Mary Had a Little Lamb, which means, in context, everything from that point, is documented in records.
Right. Actually, that's a great point that you bring up. That is absolutely.
Everything is documented from. That's why they call it recordings. You record the moment. Black folks that couldn't talk about things, they recorded in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't a spiritual hymn, and the first gospel records I've also recorded, they was also recording blues at the time, which spoke to the time and spoke to the pain. And there was a lot of biographical songs and messages in the music that spoke to their time and gave history that people couldn't look up.
Right.
Simple. When I came along in Public Enemy and my guys, it was connecting the dots that we always did as musicians, as Black folks did.
Right.
All right, you ain't gonna see it in the news. It's gonna come to the music. Duke Ellington did that. Who the hell give a damn about the A train if you don't live in New York?
Nobody.
Duke Ellington made everybody know about that.
Exactly, and people cared because you listened through the music and you got educated through it. I was talking to D about that the other day, just like even with some of the guys now, like I find when I talk to some of the OGs, even when I try to explain to them about some of the new guys that they may not like, because there's those certain OGs who just they real strict and stern on what hip hop is. They not moving. I respect it though, because you guys didn't create something to not be strict and stern on your vision. I respect it. That was your vision of it.
Yeah, but you know what? Just getting older don't make you more scholar and better. Older. It's like when people just talk about like this, yo, man, I'm giving it to you as a real E.
Right.
Just because you was rhyming back in 1982 didn't mean you were dope.
Right. That's something. That's me and J Master J's oldest son, Jida, Jason. That, but we talk about that because that's his biggest argument. He'd be like, y'all talk about ghostwriters and all that, but some people wrote Run DMC songs too. Like, what y'all mean? Like, what's the whole thing? Like, it was going on back then. We come from some of that, so now what? And it's funny though, but it's the truth though. It's truth.
Ghostwriting is right. Number one, listen, that's my number one thing. I just tweeted that today. Some people got voices. Some people write their ass off.
Mm-hmm.
Some people that have voices don't need to write, man. And some people who know how to write don't need to pick up no mic. Now, that's just how it is, man. That's a songwriter, man. Mm-hmm. That's why you have a producer that says, nah, your voice ain't, you're not good enough. But what you wrote is some dope ass shit.
Right. You're not the one. This is dope. So let me put you with the one, and then y'all go figure out with the more number ones.
Bro, that's songwriting.
Mm-hmm.
When hip hop got into this thing, it didn't come on everybody on the strength of their own lyrics. Man, matter of fact, everybody was piecemealing lyrics from somewhere else.
Right.
Wonder Mike does Kaz lyrics.
Hello.
Dude, that don't take away from Wonder Mike. Wonder Mike was the one that brought that shit across. Like, I mean, everybody, like, if somebody would have said, yo, Wonder Mike didn't write those lyrics, Kaz would have been like, yeah, and?
Exactly. What is that? Well, what does that have to do with it?
Yeah. So you're gonna take a 2004 criticism and apply it to 1979? It's like it doesn't work that way.
Right. And then
it's like, for example, styles. Like, for example, you couldn't wear a beard, man, in 1990 something like that. You couldn't, but it's a style right now.
Right.
It was a style in other places another year. But there's some places where you couldn't wear a beard like this, man. Kaz be like, you got all that shit on your face, man. It's like, what?
That sounds like my mom. That's where my mom get it from, because she say that all the time. You got all that stuff on your face. What's that? Take that stuff off your face. That's all she say.
It's another time, man. You know what I'm saying? Like froze and bald heads, man. It's like, it's like.
Right.
So I'm just saying that a lot of times old heads come in. It doesn't mean that they know more only or by default, which is kind of true. But older just ain't no automatic thing. I'm older, so automatically I'm smarter.
Right.
Like some cats are regress, bro.
No, it kills me sometimes when I was talking to Dougie about this too. Like some of the OGs, because I'm definitely probably the number one OG advocate on Twitter.
You seem like it.
I tweeted, but yeah, my parents tell me all the time, they're like, yo, get off of Twitter. I probably didn't had more threats on Twitter than any social media I've ever had. But it's because I go hard. I get people mad too, because I'm not mad. Like when I'm going back and forth, I'm not mad because
exactly.
I know the facts, and I know at the end of the day, I'm on my phone. If I put the phone down and don't go back to this, I'm not even gonna see your message.
Exactly. How you gonna get mad at a person that you don't know or don't know you?
Right, exactly. So I really just do it for sport. Kind of just helps me communicate better. Yeah, it helps me like communicate better.
Talib, man, I tell people that don't even mess with him because all he doing is bar exercises.
Right, exactly. You will become somebody's bar, quick, fast, and people don't realize that. Because I be going back and forth. I remember one kid we was having, and then it'd be the dumbest arguments too. That's the funny thing about people though. They're engaged in
280 characters.
Right.
That's what you can't if you're saying something kind of concise.
Right.
Sometimes 280 characters you can't get it out in there. If you're gonna really sit somebody down, put them up, it might take 40 characters. And it might not be the same thing going back to back. So Twitter is not always the best place.
Exactly. Exactly. So that's why when I do it, I be like, this kid is crazy. They don't even know that I'm sitting here laughing. I be showing my mom, yo, look, this kid is crazy. He's still going. But they be like, one of the arguments was like about LL versus Future. And they was like, yo, Future way better than LL. He did more, whatever. Now, that's a silly argument in itself. So, but they're serious. So, it's silly to me and it might, it's silly to us, but to them, it's serious. So I'm like, all right, what has Future done? Like, just because you just like, now I want to know what's your argument on this? Like, if somebody really argue with you, what's your argument on it? And then they go and they whatever. And then I start throwing the LL facts, whatever. And then they go back and forth. But then they're heated because now you've denounced their whole argument.
Only you can make those arguments with them because you can come up with a dynamic that they don't know about Future.
Right.
You know, to come up with a dynamic they sure enough don't know about LL.
Exactly.
But people do that in ball too, like with the LeBron, Michael Jordan. That's the dumbest but it gives people something to talk about as opposed to nothing. That's what Twitter is there for.
Exactly.
And only you can make that argument. With a person like me, I can't. I'm disqualified, man, because it's just too much information, man. It's like you can't compare. If Future's a GOAT, his crowd will determine whether he's GOAT or not.
Right.
And that GOATness will explode everywhere else where we say, okay, Future's a GOAT because of, might be in a category to Jay-Z, but at the end of the day, Jay-Z's gonna be like, well, okay, yep.
Exactly.
Yep. So I mean, I think these things are good. And it's good for like you, as a younger head to be like, okay, I'm gonna come up in there with my battle knives and chop you up for your lack of facts. So
it's just having fun for me. Like
I
just do it in my room.
Hip hop needs.
Right. And exactly. It's just starting a conversation because I find then when I do it, you see a couple other people will DM you on the side and be like, yo, I didn't even know that about LL. What's the song you was talking about?
Yeah, that's
what's that you talking about? What's that? So, I know
I didn't know that about LL. He made that song, Rock the Bells.
Right, exactly. They'd be like, word.
I thought that
like
was
LL. Right.
I thought that was a concert. He made a song called Rock the Bells. Word.
Right, exactly. And that's how the arguments be though. They'd be like, that's just a tour. I thought they make no song Rock the Bells. And then they just really rock the bells.
But here's the context too, E. The context too is that every generation that did the same thing. Look, I'm born in 1960, right? I was 20 in 1980, bro. So if somebody brought up to me like some shit from 1953,
right,
the only way I can even begin is I gotta like go in and study it. I mean, I was the type of person where I'm going in and looking at the World Book in 1957, who died that year. Used to look up obituaries. That's right, crazy, right? And I used to always like, oh man, it's the World Book, 1955, who died that year? I was like,
crazy, right? No, but that's crazy. You get all that info.
I know, right? And like, every time I would go and I'd be looking at the obituary. So that's a little morbid fact on me. That's crazy, but it allowed me to get in the framework of that year. Because I was also a sports fan, I'm following baseball, but you reading through the world every year. I don't know if you knew it. The World Book is the encyclopedia.
Yeah.
And the same thing, Encyclopedia Britannica. Those are the two encyclopedias that we had. That's the only thing we had to do, like kind of like super research in one book.
Do they even make the encyclopedias anymore now? No, I don't think so. Yeah, I was about to say.
They wouldn't probably even touch it now. It'd be on some online shit. But I'm saying that every year they used to give you another book which would talk about the year that was prior.
Right.
So let's say we got the World Book, right? We got all from A to Z, boom, boom, boom.
Right.
So the family gets it like 1971, right?
Right.
They come out, oh yeah, here come the next year. They send you World Book 1971.
Right.
And in 1972, and you look back at what happened. They used to do that all the way up to the 80s. So so then you go back into like,
right.
Oh damn, World Book 1965. Oh shit.
That's crazy. They need to do that again though, because I feel like, well, I would read it. I don't know how many people would read it, but I would read that.
You a rare breed, man. So I don't know, man. It's like,
yeah, I would read that.
You don't have to put, you say, you know what? You won't be able to go through your phone, but we'll give it to you on iPad. Because here's another thing, man. What's going to happen with gadgets, right? And I know I'm extending my stay along, but this
no, listen, you good. You're an honored guest here. You stay however long you want.
Dominique hit me twice, so I got to definitely.
Oh yeah, no, you got to go.
So number one, the neck joint from here on phones, right here. Whoever come up with some sign when social distancing lacks a little bit,
yep,
you're able to get therapy. This bone right here on having that head at an angle, the most important therapy of your body, man, because everybody's head's on an angle, man. So just
all day,
and that is like major, and also therapy from the gadgets itself. Being able to
think that's the biggest form of therapy we all need right now is the gadget stuff, because it's hard to put. You could put it down, and some people know how to put it down and just stay away from it. It's not a thing, but I know people who it's in their hand 24/7. I used to be so bad with it. I would get like the ghost vibration, like my phone wouldn't even be vibrating. I just would like feel it. I'd be like, "Yo, who's texting me?" You pull it out your phone like 10 times, and you like, "What's going on?" So look, it was really bad. It got real bad though. I had to I turned all my notifications off. The only thing my phone do is ring when somebody's calling. Other than that, I got to check all my notifications because I was like, yo, this is crazy. Like, I'm bugged out right now. My phone is it's like crazy. Like you're a junkie to the iPhone.
Yeah, that's a big business in this decade, bro. It's like rehab centers, man. I told Dominique years ago. I said when she got her degree, her master's from FAMU in psychology. I said, yo, seriously, man, the family need to open up some clinics, man, in 2025. And she laughed. And that was about like 8 years ago. I said,
no, but it's real. It's real.
Yeah, it's real.
I was talking to the doctor from Hip Hop Public Health, Dr. Elijah Day Williams, and me and
him. That's my dude, G-Day.
Yep, I did an interview with him. His is really good. I can't wait till his drops. He talked for me and him talked for like an hour, a little over, but I chopped it up into 2 parts though. I'm super excited to drop his. Me and him got to really
incredible.
Yeah, sick. But we was talking about, he was saying, he's like, yo, the next epidemic is gonna be a mental health one with all of the stuff that we're going through right now, especially the frontline workers and all that. He's like, yo, I'm telling you, the next epidemic is gonna be a mental health one, and we're gonna need help.
And we talked. Matter of fact, me and Dr. Williams had talked about those clinics. So
I think it'd be necessary, yeah, because that's what I was talking to him just about mental health a little bit and the whole thing, because that's one of my other things that I'm really focused on is mental health. I attempted suicide a couple years ago, so it's just one of those things that I try to stay on top of, always talk about, keep people aware and help out with people as I can.
But especially, and when you don't know what's talking to you, it could get to a crazy point. I mean, me, I've always been helped by the arts.
Right.
So I could look at a blank corner, and I'm always got people are like, damn, why are you so busy with yourself? I mean, I was a saving grace ever since I was young. Right. But that doesn't mean that's gonna work for your next person.
Exactly.
So things on how somebody could feel happy about themselves, even if the world looks bleak. But the arts will set you free. But the arts also have to be taught, I think. And they removed the arts from the schools. And you could tell when the arts are removed from a school, but they keep the sports programs, that's lopsidedness.
Very lopsidedness, because then you got to think about all those kids who don't play sports. And I was a kid, I don't think I played sports here and there, but I didn't start like playing baseball until like officially again until I was in like my senior year. All before that, I was interested in photography and art and like doing that. I was taking AP photography. because that's
Right.
what I'm interested in.
Right.
But there was so little opportunity available in my school, even though, you know, we live in a nice community, and there was so little opportunity for us as middle class kids that we had to go further out on Long Island to the white neighborhoods to do, like, go to the Hirsch Art Museum and all of that stuff to be a part of their art competition and stuff, because that's just not, it's not something that they keep around here and closer to the inner city kids, which is crazy.
Yep. Yeah, they teach the arts outside, and when they teach the arts on the outside, those are your executives.
Mm-hmm.
Those
Exactly.
are the ones that when you go into Adidas and say, well, damn, you know, why do they know everything about everything? Because they kind of were prepped in all these areas.
Exactly. And they not doing that to us, but definitely. But I greatly appreciate you, Chuck.
Yep.
Um, Thank you so much. You are an honored guest and esteemed guest on here. I greatly appreciate it. It was amazing talking to you. We was talking for, let me see, what's the time? Almost 2 hours and 30 minutes, which
That's
is
what it's
beautiful.
about, bro. You document it. It's for you, and anytime that you need me, you know, just hit me up. You know, Dad Blamoville is a king to me at any time.
Thank you. Greatly appreciate it. You have a great time. I mean, a great rest of your day. And I'm gonna hit Dom and tell her I said thank you, but you tell her I said thank you as well. Thank you so much for setting it up.
I sure will. Thank you, E.
Awesome.
Peace.
Peace.